elections of 2026. You're welcome, Barbara, to UCTV.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yes.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes. Thank you for that. Can you share for us some special details on why is it important for Ugandans out there to find out about their details ahead of the 2026 general elections?
Checking out one's particulars on the register is important because a voter needs to know where he votes from. A voter needs to know whether his particulars were captured correctly. A voter also needs to know whether he is in the right polling station, where his polling station is located, and many other things. There are so many benefits of checking for your particulars during the display exercise.
Yes. As we enter into this detailed conversation, one would want to find out what is the legal framework on the display of the National Voters Register?
Thank you, Anthony. There are various laws applicable for the display of the Voters Register. The first law is the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Then we have the Electoral Commissions Act. We have the Presidential Elections Act. We have the Parliamentary Elections Act, the Registration of Persons Act, the Local Government Acts, and the National Council for Older Persons Act, Persons with Disabilities Act, and the Attendant Regulations and Guidelines.
How do those guidelines help people to prepare themselves? We may have a scenario whereby someone has a different name. Yes. And those instances tend to come up. How should Ugandans protect themselves as we head to the 2026 general elections with this?
They protect themselves by referring to these guidelines. And you know, a big percentage of our population is not educated.
Yes.
Some don't even know how to read. But there are helpers out there at the respective display centers. First of all, with our National Voter Register, we display it at every polling station in a parish, because the polling station is the last detailed, the minute detail where a voter is supposed to vote from. So that is where Electoral Commission, guided by the law, decided to display its register. If any voter wants to check for his particulars, we have that social media with the social media links. You could punch in your NIN number and get to know where your name is located. Because as Electoral Commission, we have a National Voters Register where our voters are supposed to check for their particulars. And when it comes to special interest group registers, the Electoral Commission simply issues a command in its database to just filter out those names, or the voters' names which qualify for particular categories of special interest groups. When we came to the display exercise, you'll find that we displayed our register in two modes. One mode was for the general electorate, adult suffrage, and that is the National Voters Register, while the special interest groups is that one which was filtered as per the requirements of those special interest group categories. So we had two modes of display. The national one was to run from the 25th of April to the 15th of May, yes, 2025, while that one of special interest groups ran from the 25th of April to the 8th of May. The one for special interest groups is already done.
It's already done?
Yes, please.
So we are dealing with the National Register?
Yes, we are dealing with that one of adult suffrage.
Yes.
Yes.
And then as we proceed, we are coming to the conclusion of the display of the National Register.
Yes, please.
What should the people out there prepare themselves for, we are running out of days, to make sure that you've verified your details ahead of the 2026 general elections, and to also make sure that when that day comes, you don't complain that, oh, I did not check my details, I don't know where I'm voting for. So in these last remaining days, that 3 days left, what is that call to action? You can pass that message out there for the audiences there to go and check in these 3 remaining days.
Dear voters, kindly make sure you cross-check with your particulars on the voters register at your respective polling stations, so that to find out whether your particulars are correctly captured on that voters register. Once you check on your register, you'll be able to know your correct voting location. You'll also be able to know whether your particulars that you recommended for deletion have been effected. You'll also be able to know whether your photograph appears against the correct particulars on the voters register. And you'll also be able to know whether those people you recommended for deletion, remember during the update exercise, there were recommendations for deletions of people who have died, those who are non-citizens, those who are under 18 years of age, and those who don't reside in the parish, together with those people whose particulars appear more than once on the voters register or duplicates. All those categories were recommended for deletion during the update exercise. So dear voter, kindly spare some extra time off your busy schedules and go and find out whether these particulars, whether these people recommended for deletion were actually deleted.
And then we come to this aspect of the clarification. When the EC started displaying the national register, sometimes people came out and they were thinking that, oh, I think that I can transfer where I'm voting from. All those scenarios started coming in.
Yes.
And we need to provide that clarity to the audiences out there so that they know that what is being displayed is for you to know where you're going to vote from, not for you to change that I'm voting from location A, polling station A, to transfer to the village. So we need to provide that clarification for them. Can you share with us some details on that? Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. First of all, the registers being displayed at village level are those ones for special interest groups. And now that they are done, there isn't much to talk about them. But the National Voter Register for adult suffrage is still ongoing. And please be informed that during these remaining days, or even before, from the 25th to the 15th of May, no transfers will be allowed. Why? Because transfer of voters, transfer from one voting location to another, was worked upon and completed during the update time. So whoever did not transfer during update cannot transfer now
and
to another voting
needs
location.
To be pushed out strongly so that Ugandans who are voting, who are of voting age, know that there is no transfer going to take place in these 3 remaining days.
We have always been telling them, and dear voters, please be reminded.
And you need to stress that message out there.
Please
to the
be
audiences
reminded
out.
that no transfer to another voting location is allowed during the display time.
And then as we proceed forward, we look at what is the procedure of displaying the voters register. What should people discover when they reach at your polling station? What do you look out for?
When you reach your polling station where you vote from, first of all, this register will be physically hanged at any of the locations, maybe on a tree, or on a wall, or on a notice board, or a chart, but it is a spiral bound register which enables flexibility of location of that register. Today, if they decide to hang it on a tree, tomorrow they can decide to hang it on a wall, but as long as it is within, it is at that particular polling station. So this type of display, first of all, it's at the size of A3 size. The fonts are bigger, the pictures are clearer, the biodata is also typed in bigger fonts, so it is really visible, much more visible, and it can enable a voter to locate or read out his details when it comes to that polling station.
And then we go to our next question. What are the various forms used during the display exercise and their purpose? There are certain numbers the voters out there should look out for. Can you expound on that?
There are several forms coded in a different category as per the purposes of Electoral Commission work. For example, we use Clean 8, Form Clean 8, which records materials or forms received and to be used during the display exercise. We have Form Clean 3 for people to fill in their particulars when it comes to time for mismatched photographs. We have Form Clean 6 for voters omitted from the register but wishing to be reinstated on that very register. We have Form Clean 8, which is a report for materials or forms used during the display exercise. We also have Form Clean 7 for voters who were previously on the register, but when it has come to display, they have been, their details are missing. So Form Clean 7 is for voters wishing to be reinstated on the register. When we come to Clean 9, it's for that category of voters whom we are supposed to delete from the register. The non-citizens, the underage, the people who have left that parish, and the duplicates. We have Clean 9D, which is specifically for voters who have died and are all recommended for deletion from the register. We have Clean 10, which is for correction of particulars from the register. Which particulars? Biodata, like date of birth, like misspelled names, like misspelled village names, and other things like that. We also have Clean 11, which is for submission of display objections to the returning officer through the chairperson of the parish tribunal council. So for the recently concluded SIGS display, we had Form EC Special Interest Group, which is a form for objection against omission from the register for special interest groups. You know our Ugandans? They have their own categories of disability, which is not allowed by the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission has its own standardized forms of disability that it received from the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, but someone can come up and tell you, I got an eye infection and one of my eyes has gotten swollen, so I'm a disabled person because I have difficulty in my vision. But when it comes to categories of classifying people with disabilities, we strongly rely on the recommendations from the National Disabilities Act.
And I feel that point needs to be stressed out strongly because, yeah, there are different forms of disabilities, but Electoral Commission should be known to the audiences out there that they have specific guidelines they adhere to.
Yes, we have specific guidelines. Not from your
hospital or your doctor telling you this and then you have a disability, but there are specific guidelines.
There are also some voters who come telling us that they are impotent, and so they are in that category of persons with disabilities.
And that is not catered for.
And that is not catered for under the Disabilities Act. So dear voters, I hope and pray that much as the display exercise for the special interest group registers has ended, I pray you did not come with the obnoxious conditions and classifying them as disabilities when they are not classified as forms of disabilities in the Disabilities Act.
And with that, I believe let's go for a short break and then we'll be back to expound on the National Voter Register. We update ourselves on what is happening in Uganda as we count down to the last 3 days. What are the essential details you should look out for? For the voter out there still stuck that should I go and check my details or should I wait until 2026? You're only left with 3 days to go and check the details as we prepare for the 2026 general elections. Let's go for a commercial break and we'll be back. Thank you.
Good news for all. Zuku brings you the most thrilling and exciting entertainment. Enjoy amazing packages for as low as 12,000 shillings monthly with our smart package, which has over 60 channels, including ESPN, Nat Geo Wild, Baby TV, UCTV, Salam TV, and many more. Plus other packages of Smart Plus, Classic, Premium, and Asia. Get a decoder at 45,000 shillings and a full kit at 89,000 shillings. And enjoy a 1-month free premium package with amazing channels, including sports, movies, cartoons, and lots more. Zuku is available in all our dealer shops countrywide. Contact us for more information. Zuku, life got better.
At Centenary Bank, we know that agriculture is more than just a livelihood, it's the heartbeat of our nation. That's why we've created the Centenary Bank Agricultural Product Suite, designed to meet the unique needs of every farmer. From planting and nurturing to harvesting and selling, our products are tailored to your needs with flexible repayment plans, grace periods, and cash flow based on loan structuring. At Centenary Bank, we are committed to turning your hard work into lasting success. With us by your side, your produce reaches the market and your dreams become reality. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Divine Love! Ngeri wamune Mama Maria bakutusako! Maria Mega Concert!
Yenyaffe Maria chatukutira abana.
Yayo! Jebatumye sapole mondo muchombo! Yakuba ensambye ku sharing hall 17 May 2025. Nawerekedwa abayimbi bangi omuli Mr. Kisemakula, Bettina Namukasa, Father Musala, Father Mugamba, Masembe Richard Bale, Samuel n'abalala bangi. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Tuyingirire emitwalo 3, VIP emitwalo 10, na student emitwalo 2, emmeeza miliyoni 3. Nawe mwendo gw'emisana nga tutandika. Ugambye mujje tunyumirwe. Marian Mega Concert Sabbule Mondo Muchombo. Na 17 Ogwokutaano 2025. Ensambye mu Sharing Hall. Nga biwagiddwa.
Sanyuka warajijini.
Centenary Bank, St. Lawrence University, Radio Maria, Bukalango TV, Radio Sapienza, St. Joseph Hospital, Wakiso, National Government, Capital Center, Nabugaba Street.
obulamu bwo obwabagalwa bo n'ebyobugagga byo lwaki tobiwa obukuumi obusukkulumu kubigwata biraze nga weeyunga ku kampuni ya Yinsuwa egundidde mu buweereza kati okumala emyaka 15. Eno ye Pax Insurance Company Limited. Tetukwetolooza ng'ekiseera ky'okkulirira kituuse. Tulina ebika bya Yinsuwa ebijja mu bwetaavu bwo omuli Motor Comprehensive, Fire Insurance, Third Party, Marine, Workman's Compensation Act, Personal Accident n'endala nyingi. Weeyune Pax Insurance Company Uganda Limited olwaleero ekimu ku bitongole by'Eklezia Katolika. Tuli ku Platinum House, Colville Street, okuliraana Christ King Church, oba mu matabi ga 23 okwetoloola eggwanga. Ebisingawo okuba ku 014 233 096 oba ku 014 233 089 era ng'eruŋŋamizibwa Insurance Regulatory Authority. Pax Insurance, perfect peace.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, just a second. Where is your tax clearance certificate?
Hey.
You don't seem to have a tax clearance certificate, do you?
Oh no, I haven't filed my returns.
Sorry, we can't proceed without it. Can we bring in another bidder now?
Next.
Opportunities don't wait. Avoid penalties and interest by filing and paying your taxes before June 30th, 2025. Call our toll-free number or WhatsApp for help.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Are you ready to embark on a transformative educational journey like no other? Look no further than the prestigious University of Kisubi, your gateway to excellence and success. At University of Kisubi, we don't just offer education, we offer a life-changing experience that equips you with the skills, knowledge, and confidence to conquer the world. Our state-of-the-art facilities, a world-class faculty of health, education, business, ICT, and innovative programs ensure that you receive a top-tier education that prepares you for the challenges of tomorrow. Unleash your potential, unlock new possibilities, and embrace a future full of promise at University of Kisubi. Choose excellence, choose innovation, choose University of Kisubi, where your journey to success begins.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome to the UCTV Spotlight Show. I'm Lam Anthony, and with us in studio we have Barbara Namulimu to take us through the voter register update. What information is being shared to the Ugandans so that they know that they need to go and check the details on where they are going to vote from, what polling station, is their name written in order, do they have the right photo to their name? Those are some of the details people out there need to know. And another key pointer that we need to also find out is for registers of workers and the UPDF, they will be displayed at venues that have been directly communicated to organizations responsible for this special category of workers. You know, UPDF troops always move around, so they will have a special arrangement for that. And also the second, there will be an extra display period of recommendations for inclusion or deletion from the voters register, also called the natural justice period, to be done at the respective parish from 16th of May to 26th of May. Barbara, can you expound on that, the natural justice period? What does it deal with?
Natural justice period, after the major display of the National Voters Register, each parish has 5 members called a parish tribunal. These are mainly elders of the village. these people were appointed by the magistrate, not the Electoral Commission. In the past, it used to be the Electoral Commission appointing them, but now the law has changed. You know, the Electoral Commission operates within the law. There is nothing we do which is not guided by the law. Yes. So, some time back, the law was changed. The mandate of the Electoral Commission, we were told to use parish tribunals appointed by the magistrates. So, somewhere along the way during this display time, the magistrates appointed the parish tribunals, and these tribunals are a committee, a 5-member committee. So these people are going to sit for these 10 days, the natural justice period. They are going to sit at their respective parish headquarters from the 16th of May to the 26th of May. That is the 10 days natural justice period. And they will be perusing through the recommendations made by the voters of those respective parishes. And in addition to perusing through these recommendations, they'll also be waiting on voters of those parishes to come and do a contra-perusal of these very forms so that they can be able to raise objections where need arises. With our Ugandans, you know, our politicians, they can easily declare their competitors' supporters duplicates or dead or underage, something which we can't verify during the display time. But here, come to this natural justice period, assuming the competitors' supporters can identify these anomalies early enough, they come to the parish tribunal, to the parish headquarters during this natural justice period, and then point out these errors and raise objection in writing. They fill in some forms. Then the parish tribunals endorse on these forms, also supporting the objection or denying it. But shouldn't these voters come up during this 10 days natural justice period, definitely the tribunal is going to innocently endorse on these forms and forward them to the Electoral Commission to make changes. So, dear voters, don't take the 21-day period as the only time for you to come and exercise your rights, but also use this extra 10 days natural justice period to find out whether your particulars were untouched. Your particulars were untouched, especially those areas with the parallel enmity of politicians.
And it's a message that needs to be stressed out.
Candidates are fond of declaring supporters of their competitors dead, non-citizens, underage. They are fond of recommending the supporters of their competitors unfit for qualifying to be on the voters register. So members, kindly use this extra 10 days of the natural justice period to go and make sure that your supporters have not been touched.
Yes. Thank you for expounding on that. It's a crucial aspect. We are going to take it for granted. When the day comes, 2026, your name is not there, and you start complaining that I was struck off, yet you had the chance to go for this natural justice period to check and make sure that your name hasn't been struck off, that you're not eligible because you're a non-citizen, you're underage. You may discover that your area member of parliament has been struck off, or he has lost a good number of voters in a certain area. Thank you, Barbara, for that. And then as we go to this crucial aspect, the question is, what's the procedure for displaying the voters register?
Display of the voters register is always conducted with utmost impartiality on the part of the display officers because it is a public document. Then the voters register is always hanged on a hook or nail attached to a hard surface like the wall of a tree, or a tree at the height of at least 1 meter from the ground. Then the display officer always allows persons interested to flip through the register from where it is being hanged. The display officers are always required to fill in the clean forms for any objection raised, and they ensure that the complainant signs the forms and include their contact or telephone number. The display officer also ensures that the required information on the clean form is correctly filled. For example, the NIN number or the voter number or the objection being raised. Then at the end of the display period for the voters register, the supervisors, parish supervisors will collect all the display and tribunal recommendations, will display all of these recommendations at the parish for a period of 10 days. The one that I've been talking about, the natural justice period. Thereafter, the returns will be submitted to the Electoral Commission for preparation of the polling register. After this exercise, the only time you look at the register again is on polling day, when it will be opened in the ballot box. It will be sealed in the ballot box, but before polling, at the beginning of polling, all the contents of the ballot box are emptied. And that is when you'll be able to see the register again.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
As we continue again, there's this aspect that drops in. People are going to find over 5 Electoral Commission officials plus other members present. What roles do they play at the voter register?
First of all, we have officials like returning officers whose job is to supervise the display exercise. We have the assistant returning officers who also supervise the display exercise and attend to any arising queries during that exercise. Then we have sub-county election officers and parish election officers, tribunal members, and other stakeholders. However, please be informed, my dear voters, that you are the major stakeholders for this display exercise. You are the reason we display this exercise, because we are here to serve you. Otherwise, if you don't turn up to check for your particulars during this display exercise, there is no other way we can get to know that your particulars were misspelled, your photographs were mismatched against your biodata, or some people have died and need to be removed from the register, and any other anomalies. So you are the reason we exist. Without your recommendations, we cannot touch this register. So help us to help you clean this register.
And we shouldn't wait until 2026.
2026, this is the time.
Let's take advantage of this little remaining time to make
Exactly.
sure that all our details out there are
correctly
intact.
captured.
Yes.
So when it comes to the roles of the various key stakeholders, I've mentioned our voters.
Yes, the
Are
voters
the main
are
stakeholders.
the main stakeholders.
Then we also have the display officials who must ensure that they have all the necessary and adequate materials for use throughout the display period. Display officers also must ascertain whether the information provided by the voter is relevant for the display exercise and whether it requires editing or otherwise, and guide him or her accordingly. There are some people who claim that they have 3 names,
and that they're only seeing 2 names.
Yes, and they are only seeing 2 names.
Or 4 names, and they're seeing 2 names like
exactly.
that.
So here we shall request these voters to produce their national IDs. Whatever they submitted during capture of national ID information is what the Electoral Commission has. Why? Because Electoral Commission gets its data from NIRA.
NIRA.
Yes. So if you give NIRA 2 names and then you come during display time
and you're saying
claiming to have 3 names,
4 names,
we are sorry, we shall not add any other name other than those you submitted during capture of NIRA information. Display officers must also submit returns, display returns to the returning officers in the district, who will later compile and submit to the Electoral Commission headquarters for final capture in the preparation of the polling register.
We now come to the parish tribunal members. What key role do they play there?
Parish tribunals analyze. They analyze the objection forms. Remember, for the parish tribunal composition, we have 2 elders, 1 female and another male, who must be 6 years and above. We have 3 other members appointed in consultation with political parties or organizations in the area. This work is done by the magistrate. For us, our work is to receive the appointed groups as per their respective parishes. So these people, after receiving them, we assign them the duty of analyzing the objection forms and making decisions through consensus, and finally certify the forms by signing them before they are transmitted to the Electoral Commission for correction. Then we also have appointed political party agents. These ones observe the display exercise and report to their respective institutions. They mobilize the electorate to fully participate in the display exercise. They encourage all their supporters to be tolerant, supportive, and cooperative with the display officials and the commission during the entire exercise.
Then we come to point D, the media, the role of the media in informing the masses out there that you need to take part, check and make sure that your details are displayed, your name is not mismatched, you know where you're voting for, so that you don't wait until 2026 and then you're like, where am I voting from? Oh, I'm supposed to vote from here, but I'm not seeing my name. The media comes to inform you about that, and this is the role UCTV is playing, to call upon the masses out there. Go and check your voter registration details. Where are you voting from? Do you have the right photo with the right name? Do you know the polling station you'll be voting from? Those are the crucial ingredients as we prepare for the 2026 general elections. So what key roles do the media play in this?
Media, main role of the media is coverage. When are they supposed to cover the election activities? Before, during, and after elections. Dear media, please don't forget your traditional role of informing, educating, and mobilizing the population to be vigilant and participate actively during the election process. Dear media, kindly be kind. Be kind and maintain a standard of accuracy, professionalism, and objectivity when reporting on electoral activities. That's my appeal to you. dear media. We have another form of stakeholders who are accredited observers.
And then the public out there should know there are accredited observers, international, outside Africa, local from Uganda, from East Africa, from African regions. They're going to be in Uganda to monitor the outcome of the 2026 general elections. Yes. So the observers come under this category. Take us through the roles they play.
The observers observe the display exercise and report to the commission through the returning officer of the electoral districts they have observed. The observers also submit their observer reports to the Electoral Commission within 6 months after the exercise. This time, within 6 months after the display exercise. So we shall expect, the Electoral Commission shall expect the observers to submit their reports of the display exercise beginning from November of this year. I think that is ample time for them to have finished compiling their reports.
It will cater for that. I believe it will strongly cater for that. Yes. And then for the security agencies, Ugandans should know that in this area we have the joint security, police, UPDF, they all join forces, ISO, to monitor and make sure that the upcoming 2026 general elections are peaceful, that people vote without intimidation. Kindly guide us.
Thank you,
people
Anthony.
Know that this is their role that they are undertaking.
Thank you, Anthony. Dear viewers, please be informed that the Electoral Commission is mandated to use services of the Uganda Police. And it is Uganda Police that is the lead agency responsible for enforcing law and order in the entire country. Therefore, police should create an atmosphere for people's free participation in the display exercise. Police should give us security and safety of election materials and the respective election officials. Police is also expected to ensure law and order at the respective electoral activity centers. Then police should receive, investigate, and process electoral complaints and offenses that occur during the exercise. Then it should also control any election-related violence. Those are its roles.
And as we prepare, we know we are entering a tense situations. People can try to connect the dots to what happened like in Kawempe and all that, but the Ugandans, our Ugandans out there, you need to know that the police, Uganda Police, is there to make sure that the elections are free of electoral violence. We need to stress the information out there that when you see the police there, they're not your enemy. They're there to make sure that the voters vote peacefully, no disturbance takes place. In case there are disturbances being registered, they come and make sure that the culprits are arrested and the situation brought to order. We can continue with that. And then we look at the area of what are the prohibited actions during the display exercise. Someone may come and want to host a campaign there, yet people are just coming to come and check their details. What are the key issues that are prohibited by the Electoral Commission?
The Electoral Commission prohibits use of any kind of violence or threats against display officials in the electorate. EC prohibits disruption of the display exercise. Electoral Commission also prohibits interference with the work of display officials. Electoral Commission prohibits undue direction of parish supervisors and the display officials during execution of their work. Some voters, like those who sit in some social gatherings, are fond of asking our officials to physically transfer the register from its polling station
to where they are gathered.
Their convenient places where they have gathered, and in people's homes, or maybe in meetings. Please allow our display officers to execute their work as they are mandated to. That is, display the registers at the respective polling stations.
They're not going to come in your home, and that message needs to be stressed out. Someone may think that I can call them at home and they carry the voters register.
No,
I come and check the details, and then after they go back. Then others, a politician may host an event for his voters to come, that I'm hosting a get-together for all my voters. I'm having the electoral voters register here. Please come and check your details.
Exactly.
We can't have that, and that's the message that is being stressed out with this.
That is true.
Yes. And then as we come to the conclusion of our talk show, how will complaints be handled during the display exercise? Most of the times complaints arise, I've been mismatched, my details are missing, this is not my polling station, I was struck off yet, I'm supposed to be on this register. How will Electoral Commission handle such complaints?
The complaints that come up during the display exercise will be addressed to the district returning officers, who will handle them following Article 61 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. And these are the processes I took you through, like after the tribunal has endorsed on these clean forms. These clean forms are the major documents indicating people's objections and other complaints. So once the tribunal endorses on these forms, they will be forwarded to the district returning officer, who will also forward them to the Electoral Commission headquarters for processing and adjustments of those complaints, as long as the parish tribunals will have signed on these forms.
And I believe that needs to be stressed, as long as the parish tribunal has signed on it.
As long as the parish tribunal members have signed on these clean forms, dear stakeholder, dear voter, be assured that these recommendations will be effected. But once the parish tribunal has not signed on these clean forms, no change will be effected. Therefore, the parish tribunals are as important as that. Without their signature, no changes will be effected. So, dear parish tribunals, kindly avail yourselves at the respective parish headquarters during this 10 days natural period and handle the objections of our voters so that you can finally endorse on them for onward transmission to the Electoral Commission for processing.
Thank you, Barbara, for that. And then finally, your appeal to our stakeholders, the Ugandans out there of voting age. What do they need to prepare themselves for as we enter another phase of the 2026 general elections? What should they look out for?
Dear voters and other stakeholders, the Electoral Commission appeals to you to participate effectively in this display exercise in order to enable the Electoral Commission have a clean voter register, which is a cornerstone for peaceful and free and fair elections. Please, for those who haven't been to your respective polling stations, kindly make sure you go there within these remaining 3 days, and also make use of that 10 days natural justice period at your respective parishes to make sure that your name is still intact on the voters register. I thank you for listening to me, and I wish you a peaceful night.
Thank you, Barbara, for that expounding information you've shared with us. And as we prepare for the 2026 general elections, we call out our stakeholders, Ugandans out there, voters out there, to take part in this special exercise that is ongoing. It's ending on 15th May, but you still have that chance to go out there, make sure that all your voter registration details are in order as we prepare for that defining moment for people to select for special interest groups, members of parliament, local councils, LC5s that we have there, and for the presidential elections. We urge Ugandans out there to come and vote peacefully. Say no to violence. I remain Ayebe Lam Anthony, and thank you for tuning in for the UCTV Spotlight Show on the voter register update. Thank you very much.